Hello everyone, my name is Vaktang and I am the founder of Olni. In this video I want to give you a full review of our game. I'll explain why I believe this project is truly special and most importantly why here a person can not only play for their own enjoyment but also earn real income. We all know that many people love to play games, but when a game is combined with the opportunity to earn money, that's a whole different level of interest, a whole different level of engagement, and a whole different level of potential. Let me say right away, my goal here is to show you how the tournaments work, how the prize system is set up, how you can earn money, and why I believe this project truly has a huge future. I also want to highlight an important point right from the start. When I mention amounts in dollars, I'm doing so purely for simplicity and ease of understanding. In reality, all calculations within our system are done in the Olni token, and one Olni token is equal to $1. So everything is actually in tokens, and I only refer to dollars as an equivalent to make the numbers easier for you to grasp. Now let's take a look at how the game Two Towers is structured. At first glance, the rules seem quite simple, but the game itself remains deep, strategic, and very exciting. The game is played by two people. Each player has their own tower and their own wall, which they need to defend while simultaneously trying to destroy the opponent's tower. There are three ways to win. The first way is to destroy your opponent's tower down to 0. The second way is to build your own tower up to a height of 50. And the third way is to accumulate 50 units of each resource. Each player starts the game with a tower of height 20. So the player's goal is either to destroy the opponent's tower or to build their own tower up to the winning height faster than the opponent. A very important part of the game mechanics is the wall. In front of each player's tower, there is a wall that serves as the first line of defense. When your opponent attacks you, most attacks are directed at the wall first, and only after the wall is destroyed does the damage start to affect the tower itself. This means that even if your opponent has a strong attack, a good and tall wall can protect your tower for a long time. That's why players are constantly balancing between two tasks: building and strengthening their own wall or destroying the opponent's defenses and attacking their tower. But there's a nuance here as well. There is a card in the game that allows you to swap your wall with your opponent's wall. So it's not advisable to build your wall up to the maximum unless you have this card, because your opponent could simply steal your wall. Now let's talk about resources. There are three main types of resources in the game, each responsible for its own part of the strategy. These resources are produced by special buildings. Ore is produced by the mine building. This resource is mainly used for building and strengthening the wall. The more ore you have, the higher and stronger your wall becomes, and the harder it is for your opponent to reach your tower. Some cards can build both the wall and the tower at the same time, but most often ore is used specifically to strengthen your defenses. Troops are produced by the barracks building. This resource is used for attack cards. Troop cards deal damage either to the opponent's wall or to their tower, depending on the specific card. Therefore, players often first destroy the opponent's wall and then start dealing damage to their tower. Mana is produced by the monastery building. It is used for magic cards, which provide various strategic effects. For example, building a tower, changing resources, weakening the opponent's economy, destroying buildings, or other special effects. It is often magic cards that allow you to quickly build a tower, which makes them an important part of the strategy. Each resource is produced by its own building. There are three generators in the game. The mine produces ore, the barracks produce troops, and the monastery produces mana. The higher the level of these buildings, the more resources the player receives each turn. At the same time, there are cards in the game that allow you to increase the level of your own buildings, decrease the level of your opponent's buildings, destroy resource generators, or, on the contrary, strengthen your own economy. Therefore, sometimes the right strategy is not to attack the tower directly, but to first break your opponent's economy. Now let's talk about the cards themselves. The game uses more than 100 different cards. Each player holds 6 cards in their hand. If a player has a VIP card, then they have 7 cards in their hand, which gives them more options for actions. After a card is played, a new card immediately takes its place. Thanks to this, each game unfolds differently. Cards in the game serve a variety of different functions. For example, cards can build a tower, build a wall, destroy the opponent's wall, deal damage to the tower, strengthen your buildings, weaken the opponent's buildings, provide additional resources, steal resources, change the parameters of the wall, or create various special effects. That's why every game is absolutely unique. There are also cards in the game that allow you to change a card in your hand. For example, you can play a card that lets you discard an unwanted card and draw a new one, then continue your turn. This gives the player extra flexibility and helps find solutions even in difficult situations. Although the rules of the game are very simple, the game itself remains deeply strategic. The player must constantly make decisions, whether to attack the opponent's tower, destroy their wall, build up their own tower, strengthen their defense, boost their economy, or weaken the opponent's economy. Sometimes victory is achieved through a quick attack, sometimes by destroying the opponent's economy, and sometimes by gradually building up your own tower. That's why each game develops in its own way. Now let's talk about the nuances. The first is the surrender button. In our version of the game, there is a surrender button. If you realize that the game is lost or there's simply no point in continuing, you can end the game immediately. But of course, the system must be protected from abuse, so in the tournament you can't surrender more than 5 times, otherwise you'll be disqualified from the tournament. This is a safeguard against multi-accounting, intentional losses, and other dishonest schemes. 4 times, no problem. As practice has shown, that's more than enough. The second point is the time bank. We all understand that anything can happen in real life. Your internet lags, you get distracted, you don't manage to click in time, the game freezes, or your boss shows up. That's why we have a backup mechanism in place. After the main time runs out, you get an extra minute. This is the time bank. This is a very important improvement because it makes the game not only fairer but also more humane. We understand that the problem isn't always with the player. Sometimes it's the equipment, sometimes the connection, sometimes just chance. That's why we've specifically built this safety margin into the system. Third, personal time for each player. Each player has their own personal time, 5 minutes. The match lasts 10 minutes, but these 10 minutes are split equally between the players, 5 minutes each. Essentially, it works like in chess. You make a move and the time switches to your opponent. They think their time is used up. You think your time is used up. Because of this, the game becomes much cleaner, faster, fairer, and more competitive. Here, your decisions, your reaction speed, your understanding of the game, and your focus all become important. And this makes the tournament format much stronger. Fourth, emotions and text. Usually the chat in such games hardly works at all, simply because there is physically no time for it. When a tense match is underway, a person isn't going to sit and type out long messages. It's inconvenient and pointless. We have ready-made short text phrases and emotions that can be sent literally with one click. These can be emojis, reactions, or some short in-game remarks. In other words, you can maintain lively communication, sense your opponent, and create an atmosphere, all without losing the rhythm of the game. And at the same time, the person sees all of this immediately in the game. That is, they don't need to open some chat to see what you wrote to them. They see everything right away. Fifth, convenient card sorting. At first glance, this might seem like a minor detail, but any player understands how important it is. When cards are scattered chaotically, all mixed up, when one type is mixed with another, it really gets in the way, especially in a dynamic match where every second counts. In our case, the cards are sorted logically and conveniently. Everything is structured so that the player can navigate the game faster, make decisions more quickly, and better control the situation on the table. Sixth, playing at a convenient time. And another important detail concerns tournaments. In the classic system, a tournament is usually tied to a specific time. That is, all participants are required to be online exactly when the tournament is scheduled. But that's not always convenient. Some people have work, others have families, and some have their own things to do. Plus, it's very important to understand that everyone is also in different time zones. What is convenient for one person might be the middle of the night, early morning, or just a completely unsuitable time for someone else. We've completely reworked this aspect as well, and in my opinion made it much more convenient and effective. You have a whole day to participate in the tournament, but the actual playtime limit is 1 hour, and you can distribute that hour however you like. If you want, play 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, or 20 minutes during the day. If you want, play the whole hour at once, or you can split it into several short sessions throughout the day. So you don't have to adjust to a single strictly set time determined by the administrators. You have 24 hours, and within that period, you decide for yourself when it's most convenient for you to log in and play your tournament. That's exactly why this system is much fairer, more flexible, and more modern. It takes into account people's real lives, their schedules, their workloads, and even the fact that they may be in completely different countries and time zones, because the game should adapt to the person, not the person to the game. Seventh, monthly meetings between the founder and programmers with the players. Constant live contact between the players and the project team itself. In classic games, it's very often arranged so that the administration exists on its own and the players are on their own. People make suggestions, write things, ask for something, but in most cases they are either not heard or it's simply not considered necessary to actually change anything. And many players are well aware of this. Our approach is completely different. From the very beginning, we are building the project so that the game develops not separately from the players, but together with them. That's why every second Sunday of each month we will hold Zoom meetings where I, as the founder, will be present and will often lead them myself. At these meetings, players will be able to communicate directly with us, with the programmers, with the team, ask questions, suggest ideas, share their opinions, point out weaknesses, or on the contrary, highlight strong directions for development. At these meetings, we will discuss what we plan to do next, which features we want to add, which modes to develop, which new games to launch in the future, and in which direction our entire ecosystem will grow overall. In other words, a player here is not just someone who comes in, plays and leaves. A player here is a full-fledged participant in a living system who can truly influence the development of the project. And in my opinion, this is a very powerful thing. Eighth, this of course is design. And I also consider this a very important point because a game should not only be interesting in terms of mechanics, fair in its rules and strong in its capabilities, but it should also be pleasing to the eye. It should create an atmosphere, it should make you want to come back to it again and again. And that's why we also pay a lot of attention to the visual aspect. Even now, our design looks very respectable and really cool. But at the same time, I'll be honest right away, we still have room to grow, and visually the game will become even stronger, even more beautiful, and even more effective. We plan to seriously improve the visuals further. The towers will look more lively and realistic. They will break apart, become covered in cracks, and change visually depending on the situation in the game. The wall will also look like a real wall, not just a symbolic interface element. Moreover, the visual upgrades themselves will continue to develop. That is, at first, these might be simpler fortifications like ordinary stakes, then more serious defenses, then a large wall that gradually becomes a stone wall, then an iron one, and so on. So the player will not just see numbers, but will actually feel the development of their defenses and the entire game situation through the visuals. It's these kinds of details that create the feeling of a living game, a place where it's pleasant to be. That's why we pay very close attention to design as well, and we will do everything to make the game not only stronger in substance, but also more beautiful in perception. Ninth, history and replay of played matches with full analysis. That is, you can not only see the final result, who won and who lost. You can fully open this match and watch exactly how it played out from start to finish. Moreover, the replay is not done in some primitive way, but is actually convenient and in-depth. You can watch the game in motion, observe all the events that took place in the match, see which cards each player played, what exactly each card did, how the situation on the field changed, and how in the end one player gained an advantage over the other. What's more, you can also view all this through graphs. You can see graphs for tower health, resources, and income. So what you have is not just a match recording, but a full-fledged analysis tool. And this provides a powerful opportunity not only to watch, but also to learn. Because a person can break down their mistakes, understand at what moment they fell behind, where they lost momentum, where the opponent outplayed them in terms of resources, damage, or strategy. In the same way, you can watch other people's matches, analyze strong players, and use that to improve your own level. It's also very important that the match viewing is fully controllable. You can increase the playback speed, pause the game, rewind to the desired moment on the timeline, stop at specific episodes, and analyze them in detail. In other words, you have complete control over the viewing of a previously played game. Essentially, the entire game is laid out before you. You can see exactly how it was played, what happened during the match, how the events unfolded step by step, and how that led to the final result. And in my opinion, this is truly a very powerful distinction, because here the system becomes not just a gaming platform, but also an analytical, educational, and maximally transparent one. As far as I know, nothing like this exists in this format in any other game, but we have it, and this is another step towards making the game not just interesting, but truly deep, fair, and open to players. 10th, prizes in different games. This also doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. For those players who show good results in Millennium tournaments, I, as the founder, have also arranged additional rewards in well-known games like Forge of Empires and Heroes of War and Money. That is, here a person can receive not only prizes within the Millennium system itself, not only real cash winnings, but also additional in-game rewards in other games. For winning a regular tournament, a player will be able to choose one of two rewards, and that's in addition to the cash prize. Either 100,000 gold in the game Heroes of War and Money, or 10,000 strategy points in the game Forge of Empires. And for winning the monthly tournament with a prize pool of $500, the reward will be even greater. The player will also be able to choose one of two options, either 300,000 gold in the game Heroes of War and Money, or 30,000 strategy points in the game Forge of Empires. And here's a very important point: the person chooses for themselves which reward suits them best. That is, they do not receive everything at once, but choose one of two options, either the reward in Heroes of War and Money or the reward in Forge of Empires. In my opinion, this makes participating in Millennium even more interesting and unique, because here you can not only win real money, not only enjoy the game itself, but also additionally claim valuable in-game resources specifically in the game you also play. And this, in essence, is yet another unique aspect of our project, where the game starts to deliver results for a person in several different ways at once. And it is from such seemingly separate details that, in the end, a big difference emerges between just a familiar mechanic and a truly modern, well thought out and comfortable game. Now let's move on to tournaments, because tournaments are truly the heart of our system. This is where excitement, competition, strategy, and financial opportunity all come together. Each tournament has an entry fee. Currently, there are 4 tournament formats: free, $1, $5, and $10. In other words, a person can choose a tournament that matches their level, their activity, and their goals. Each tournament lasts 24 hours. An important point is that you can only play for 1 hour, and that hour is your chance to show your best. During this time, you need to play as many matches as possible, win as many times as you can, and accordingly, earn as many points as possible. You can allocate this hour however you like. You can play for 10 minutes, then after a couple of hours play another 10 minutes, and so on, until you reach a total of 1 hour of gameplay. Our point system is simple and straightforward. You get 3 points for a win and minus 1 point for a loss. So it's important not just to play, but to play well. You need to be able to maintain your pace, keep your rhythm, preserve your results, and avoid losing streaks. The winner is the one who has accumulated the most points by the end of the tournament. If 2 players have the same score, the one with the lower ID, that is the one who registered earlier with the company, will be ranked higher. This is a small additional advantage for those who joined earlier. The move timer is currently set to 20 seconds. In the future, we might reduce it to 15 seconds to make the game tougher and even more dynamic. The time bank is 1 minute. Each player's personal time is 5 minutes. The minimum number of matches you need to play for the tournament to count is 5. Also, a very important point: if a person receives 5 losses due to missed turns, they are disqualified. Similarly, if they forfeit 5 times, they are also disqualified. All of this is not done to be strict, but to protect the tournament system from manipulation, fixed matches, intentional losses, and any other dishonest actions. Now we move on to the part that is most important for many people: the money. The prize pool for each tournament is formed from the entry fees paid by the participants. Except for free tournaments, in those cases the prize pool is provided by the company itself. In other words, the players themselves create the total amount of money that will later be distributed based on the results of the competition. Roughly speaking, this is 100% of the total pool. Out of this 100%, 15% is set aside for separate purposes, which I will talk about a bit later, and 85% makes up the main prize pool of the tournament. These 85% are distributed among the top 3 leaders as follows. First place receives 50%, second place receives 30%, and third place receives 20%. In other words, the top 3 take the main cash prize of the tournament. Now, about those 15% that are set aside separately. Out of that, 5% goes to the person who invited the tournament winner. So, For example, if Vasya wins the tournament and he was invited to the game by Petya, then Petya receives 5% of the total prize pool. This is an important point because our system rewards not only playing, but also contributing to the growth of the community. You didn't just bring someone in, you helped the system grow. And if this player achieves results, you also receive a share of the benefits. Next, 6% goes to the company for project development, infrastructure, updates, support, and scaling. Because any vibrant, strong project shouldn't just exist but must constantly develop. And the remaining 4% goes into the bonus account. This is a very interesting part of our ecosystem. These 4% from all tournaments held throughout the month are collected into a single monthly bonus fund. And then this fund is awarded to the player who takes first place in the ranking at the end of the month. Now, it's very important to understand how the ranking itself is structured. All tournament participants are included in the ranking, but ranking points are awarded according to a separate system. The logic here is as follows. The number of points depends on how many people participated in a particular tournament. For example, if 50 people participated in the tournament, then the player who takes first place receives 50 ranking points. Second place gets 49 points. Third place gets 48, and so on in descending order. Accordingly, the player who finishes in 50th place receives 1 point. If, for example, 1,000 people participated in the tournament, the logic remains the same. First place receives 1,000 points and the last place receives 1 point. In other words, the more participants there are in the tournament, the more ranking points you can earn. After that, all the points a player earns in different tournaments throughout the month are summed up. And at the end of the month, the person with the most ranking points wins and receives the entire monthly bonus pool. After this, the ranking is reset to 0. This means that it's important not only to place highly, but also to be active overall. The more tournaments you play, the more opportunities you have to earn points and climb the rankings. And now imagine what this pool could be like if there are many tournaments, many players, and the system is actively developing. It could be $100, it could be $1,000, it could be $10,000, and on a large scale, even much more. But that's not all. In addition to the bonus pool, we also have an incentive pool. 50 cents from all company participants who purchase VIP packages, enter the treasury, activate the factory, or even those who don't play this game at all, go into this pool. They are simply in the company as partners, since the company has other areas besides gaming. I won't be going into detail about these areas today because that's a topic for a separate lengthy video. But the fact itself is important. The incentive pool is collected from several strong streams, and therefore it can also be quite substantial. In some cases, it can even be larger than the bonus pool. And now, the most interesting part. This pool is distributed among the participants in the ranking. A total of the top 100 players participate in the ranking, but the first place already receives the bonus pool, so it does not take part in the incentive pool drawing. The remaining 99 people participate, and this drawing won't be some boring technical allocation. No, it takes place in a beautiful, interesting, public and transparent way. This is a full-fledged game-style drawing with a live broadcast on YouTube, VK, Facebook and other platforms. The broadcast will also be available via Zoom, so people can attend, watch, ask questions and see everything with their own eyes. The format will be spectacular. Tickets, balls, stages, visual mechanics and clear logic. There will be a total of 3 stages, and the winner will be the one who shows the best overall result. At the same time, all 99 participants will have almost equal chances. Yes, those in higher positions will have slight advantages. Second place will get an extra 10 tickets, third place plus 5, and fourth place plus 2 tickets. But at the same time, the system itself remains lively, interesting, and intriguing. And this is also an important point. We want participation in the ranking to be not just numbers in a table, but a real event. Now, I want to specifically talk about transparency. Each tournament has complete statistics. You can see the leaderboard, the number of points, the number of matches played, wins and losses, and the results of specific matches. You will be able to open a player's history, see whom they have defeated, how they played, and what their results are. And this is not by accident either. We want the system to be as transparent as possible so that honest players can see what is happening and any suspicious moments can be noticed. If you notice that a certain player is winning against the same opponent too often, or if you suspect there are signs of cheating, you can always contact our support team and request an investigation. We will look into such matters very carefully because it is extremely important to us that trust in the system is genuine, not just formal. And here, I want to say perhaps one of the most important things in this entire video. This game is created by players and for players. For me, this is not just a nice phrase, it's a principle. We are not a project where the administration is separate, the players are separate, and no one listens to each other. We are building a living system where people have a voice. That's why there will be a link to the game's chat under this video. Join it, share your ideas, make your suggestions, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to improve, what should be added, what should be changed. If an idea is strong, we will implement it. If for some reason an idea doesn't fit, we will honestly explain why. But there will be no indifference here. And this is probably one of the biggest differences between our approach and that of many other gaming projects. Because I am a player myself, I have spent many years in this environment and I know firsthand what people are missing. And that's exactly why I want to create a game where the player is not just a bystander, but a full-fledged participant in a living system. Take our heroes, for example. How often do the admins there actually do what the players ask for? They basically don't do anything at all because they don't care about the players. But for us, players are our main helpers and critics. Now, a little more about the major tournaments organized by the company. In addition to regular tournaments, we will also hold special company-sponsored tournaments. Once a month, there will be tournaments with a prize pool of at least $500, and once a year, a major tournament with a $10,000 prize for the winner. At this stage, we're starting out this way because any serious project grows step by step. But my goal is much broader. I want to reach the point where $10,000 tournaments are held every month. And this isn't just a pretty dream, it's a target we are building the system for, scaling the audience, and developing the project toward. This will become possible as our player community grows. The more of us there are, the bigger the prizes will be. It's also important to understand another key principle of our tournament system. Access to the largest company-sponsored tournaments isn't available right away. And this is intentional, because large prize pools shouldn't just be an open door for everyone, but a reward for activity, experience, and already proven results in the game. In order to gain access to a major company tournament with large prizes, you need to win at least one tournament. In other words, a player must first demonstrate that they truly know how to play, know how to win, and are capable of making their way through the regular tournament system. And to qualify for our big tournament with a grand prize of $10,000, the requirements are even higher. Here, you need to have won at least 10 tournaments. And it can be any 10 tournaments that you have won. It doesn't matter whether those were $1, $5, or $10 tournaments. The main thing is that the player has 10 confirmed victories. In my opinion, this is an absolutely fair approach because major tournaments should not gather random players, but those who have already proven their level, their consistency, and their ability to win. It's also important to mention another direction which I am sure will be very interesting to many people as well. The company will be holding free tournaments, but with real cash prize pools. That is, a person will be able to participate in such a tournament completely free of charge, without any entry fee, and at the same time have the opportunity to win real money. In my opinion, this is a very strong format because it gives anyone the opportunity to try themselves out, experience the tournament atmosphere, test their abilities, and at the same time risk nothing at the start. Such tournaments will be held periodically, somewhere perhaps once a month and elsewhere maybe several times a month. Here, everything will depend on the stage of the project's development, player activity, and the company's internal plans. But in any case, we will announce such tournaments in advance, right inside the game itself, at least a day before they take place, so that everyone has the opportunity to prepare and participate. The prize pool for these tournaments will be around $100, and as the company grows, it will increase to $1,000 per tournament. Everything depends on the activity of our players. The more active they are, the bigger the prizes they will receive. The main thing here is the principle itself. A person gets the opportunity to enter the game without any investment, experience the gameplay, test their skills, and with a good result, win real money. I believe this is a very fair and proper format, especially for those who are just getting acquainted with the game, want to see everything for themselves first, try it out in practice, and only then decide how deeply they want to get involved. Now, I want to specifically address those people who see all this not just as an interesting game, but as a serious financial opportunity. Because it's one thing to earn $100, $200, $500, or even $1,000, and that's already a good result. But there are people who want to think bigger, who want to build a substantial income, who want to see a system, prospects, and scale in this. And for such people, we have another powerful option, the VIP card. Right now, I won't go into all its advantages in detail because this video is dedicated only to tournaments and the game Two Towers. Later on, I will most likely record a separate, comprehensive review of the entire Millennium ecosystem. But there is one important thing about the VIP card that you need to know right now. It gives you an additional card in the game. So instead of 6 cards, you will have 7. It's like a golden card in the tavern. Any experienced player understands perfectly well how significant an advantage this is. One extra card means a whole new level of flexibility, a different level of control, and a different potential in the match. Essentially, it's a very substantial in-game benefit. The cost of the VIP card is $15 per month, that is 15 only tokens per month. It's a monthly subscription and it provides not only in-game advantages but also financial ones. Why? Because firstly, a large number of players need this card. So if you invite people to the game and they start using the VIP card, you receive a referral reward for that. For each such VIP card, you receive $7 monthly. And what's especially important is that this system goes down to 10 levels deep. That means you earn income not only from those you personally invited, but also from those they invite, and so on throughout the entire structure. Let's imagine a very simple example. Suppose you invited 2 people. They joined, saw that the game is strong, that the tournaments are interesting, that there are prospects here, and purchased a VIP card. Then each of them invited 2 more people, and the system started to grow further. Even with such a seemingly modest start, you will gradually build a separate, stable monthly income, and with a certain level of activity, it can reach about $800 a month just from the VIP card line. And right now, I'm only talking about VIP. Without tournaments, without bonus funds, without incentive funds, without other areas of the ecosystem. Now imagine another scenario. Imagine that you invited not 2 but 3 people and they did the same, and so did their people. Here the numbers start to look completely different. In this case, your monthly income could reach tens of thousands of dollars per month. Of course, I understand that not every scenario plays out perfectly, and you shouldn't look at this as magic or some kind of automatic result. Here, people are important as well as activity, the ability to build a system, work with an audience, and the skill to explain. But the principle itself is very important. Sometimes just one additional person at the start can, over time, make a huge difference in the result. And even if you realize not the full potential, but say only 10% of it, it can still be a very substantial monthly income. It may not be tens of thousands of dollars, but a couple or $3,000, which is still a very good and tangible result. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the very beginning. Here, you can not only play around, but actually build a real financial model for yourself. Besides the VIP card, there are also other strong areas in our ecosystem. There is the treasury, there is the factory, and there are other mechanics as well that also allow you to earn. But that's already a topic for a separate, detailed conversation. I think that later I will definitely record another video where I will break down the entire system in full. But for now, I wanted to give you the most important thing, the understanding of our game, the understanding of tournaments, the logic behind earning, and the understanding of why, in my opinion, this project truly deserves attention. We'll wrap things up here. The video turned out to be long, but that's unavoidable because this is a serious project. I didn't just want to show you something briefly, but really give you a complete picture. I really hope that now you have a better understanding of what our game is about, the strength of our tournaments, where the opportunities are, where the interest lies, where the excitement is, and where the real money is. If you still have questions, be sure to join our chat. The link will be below this video. There you can chat with participants, ask questions, hear players' opinions, and contact technical support. If needed, I will also come in and answer, because for me this project isn't something distant, it's a living system that we're building together with people. And once again, I'll repeat our main idea. This game is created by players and for players. These are not just words. This is the foundation, the principle that we will not stray from. I wish everyone good luck, beautiful victories, strong tournaments, and great achievements, and see you on the battlefield